All right, what's going on, big dogs? So we have made it another rotation around this massive ball of fire in the sky on this space rock we live on, which means that Boogie has found yet another way to completely embarrass himself. This guy is like a complete drug addict when it comes to being a lolcow, and he seems to be willing to do whatever it takes to continue to dig his channel its own grave. But let's move on to the good stuff. So Boogie for a while now has claimed that he has cancer, and this was one of the main reasons why he claimed it was okay for him to scam his audience, because his cancer medical bills were apparently so high that was just his justification to scamming his audience. But last night, Boogie's cancer got brought into question, and rightfully so, since there have been some inconsistencies, to say the least, when it comes to his cancer and his statements on his cancer. And Boogie is the world's biggest liar, no pun intended, but he literally just makes shit up to make himself sound cool, and he just can't help himself. He just can't seem to help himself from lying about the simplest of things. But with some of the things he was saying and not everything exactly lining up, he was confronted on a podcast about it. And for 3 hours this went on, Boogie said the dumbest or worst possible thing every fucking time. If his goal was to go on there and make himself look even more like a massive lolcow, then he succeeded.
I mean, people have been saying this. Jackson Clark's been saying this for 2 years. He asked for my medical records. I told him no. I'm going to tell Destiny no too.
Yeah, but it
I
looks
was gonna
so
do it.
bad,
I would have handed it over to Jackson Clark 2 years ago.
Boogie, let us talk.
Jackson, you ain't got to show it to anybody like this. Like you literally could show it to a third-party person. That's just
yes, I want you to sit there and listen. Go ahead, Wings. Go ahead, Wings.
What's your take on this, Tommy?
It's pretty damning. I think I would be in a position where I'd have to show my medical records if I said something.
I can't stress this enough, Boogie.
You just got to show the diagnosis at the very top.
I'd feel like I'd have to do it.
Like, they're not even asking much from him. They didn't beg for his entire life's medical records. They said that he could just show his diagnosis to a trusted third party. And that to me is nothing crazy. And at this point, I'm starting to think he's just a major liar. And like stated earlier, he used this as a reason for his crypto scam, which would basically mean he's just a lying scam artist who only cares about himself, which I think we all know to be the case, but this would just prove it to the very few fans that he does have left. And he got so desperate to not show his medical records that he even got naked on the podcast to show that he was not embarrassed to show anything, I guess. And he just simply doesn't want to show his medical records, which is a crazy way to try and defend yourself. Like, just imagine doing that in court. Like, the judge would be like, "So, did you scam your audience, Boogie?" And he just drops his pants. He's like, "Do you see this penis, Your Honor? Does this look like a penis of a scammer?" Like this proves absolutely nothing at all. But lying about cancer, lying about having cancer, takes a very special kind of loser. This is by no means the first time that this has happened on the internet. Not too long ago, I believe, a TikToker got caught doing this, but this is Boogie, and the way that this happens to go down is the most Boogie way possible. He is questioned very heavily just to show one shred of evidence that he has cancer, and he refuses every single time. It got so bad that they started offering him money just to show a trusted third party that he indeed had cancer. And if I recall correctly, I believe it got up to about $80,000 for him. And for someone who loves to complain about needing money all the time and having to scam his audience in order to pay for his cancer treatment, he says, you think at 80 grand he'd take the money, you know, if he actually does have cancer, but he refuses every single time. Make it make sense.
If he wanted to disprove it, all he has to do is show a private party this particular medical thing, and yeah, it would be.
To summarize, Jesse, you're basically saying he's kind of unlucky he doesn't have cancer.
I mean, for this particular case, yeah. If Boogie can confirm, that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
No,
Hey, you need the money.
You're not seeing my medical records for 20, not for 50. You're not seeing my medical
$5
records.
grand.
I said this. I said this years ago.
Okay, so I just want people to remember in the future then, when Boogie says, I have to do XYZ scam to raise money because my medical bills are hurting so much, he can speak publicly about his medical issues to scam his fans to raise money, but he can't take $5,000 to privately confirm a diagnosis that he already publicly said he has. Doesn't make any sense, but
even I have a fucking limit. Even I have a fucking limit.
What's the limit, though?
It's a bad.
I understand that he, you know, there's a big history of people, I guess, scamming people with cancer, and it's like the worst of the worst.
Sure.
And you're getting confronted with that right now, and your response to that is
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm not going ahead. I'm just I'm explaining to you.
Go right the fuck ahead. I don't.
I'm not right.
100% believe you have polycythemia vera. Why aren't you just trying to disprove that, other than them making you look like you're
because 2 years ago? Because 2 years ago, I'd rather that than the.
Why would you rather that? That's so stupid.
This is the last thing I have is my medical records.
All right, do you care about
if I hand this over, I've given over literally every goddamn.
And so yeah, Destiny just grills him nonstop, as Destiny tends to do, and Boogie just keeps denying everything they throw at him. He hit him with the "no, I didn't" as his evidence, basically, and he talks about how this is all he has left are his medical records, once again trying to play the victim card with a sob story. But it's not like Boogie hasn't been really open about everything in his life, and even with things nobody wants to hear or know about him, he has openly talked about. Really anything he can use as a sob story, a way of making people feel bad for him, as he plays his "look how silly and stupid I am" card that he always tries to use, like he's some dumb kid when he's in his fucking 50s, damn near 60s, I believe. But now all of a sudden he just can't take the money that he claims he so desperately needs. But Boogie continues to double down on being a moron to the point that even Keemstar cannot believe what he is hearing.
The biggest story in the world is going to be Boogie2988 lied about his cancer.
Good, let him go.
Okay.
Good,
and then at some point, you're going to bring out the medical papers and you're going to prove that you do have cancer. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying.
No. 0% chance.
Listen to what I'm saying. Listen. And then it's going to be too fucking late because everyone's going to think you lied about it.
I ain't never going to do it.
Then you lied. Then you lied.
Go right ahead.
Why the fuck would you lie about that?
I didn't. I'm telling you the same thing I told Jackson Clark 2 years ago. Go fuck yourself. It's my medical records. Go fuck yourself.
You lied. You share every aspect of your life. Bro, Boogie, you shared that you fucked hookers. You've done all this embarrassing stuff. You're lying.
Oh, there's plenty of things I haven't shared. There's plenty of things I haven't shared, but go right ahead. Print what you got to print.
Oh, this is actually so fucking sad, Boogie.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, Boogie is almost 100% lying about this. Now, don't get me wrong. If he ever does come out with his medical records and proves he has cancer, I will 100% apologize for this video and take it down. But this is super sketchy. Like, this could be such a home run for Boogie. People calling him out, and for once he can actually back up a claim. And then honestly, if he just showed it, everyone would just move on and continue on with their lives. But he continues to just claim that he is innocent while throwing a massive hissy fit about people asking him just to prove that he's not a liar. Even Keemstar, who has done more than enough to help Boogie out in the past, cannot even seem to comprehend what he is hearing from this guy. This is just the lowest of lows for Boogie. Literally only the scum of the earth fake pretending to have something so serious like this. It's absolutely inexcusable. Other than being caught as a PDF file, faking cancer is probably the next best way to absolutely kill your career, and Boogie already doesn't have much of a career left.
You got on your knees and mooed on camera.
Well, I would rather do that. I would rather do that than hand over my medical records, y'all.
You're not handing over the whole thing. You just got to show the diagnosis, because at the end of the day, it is a serious scam, right? Like, if you're not going to tell everyone,
I'll just leave the internet. It's good. We're good. We're good.
So after siphoning all the money and the fucking sympathy off of cancer, then you ride off.
What money did I siphon? $750.
Whatever.
I'll donate the $750 I got from the video where eBay.
No. Over 2 years. Over 2 years when you keep bringing it up, man. What about the money you told us that you had to go get your colonoscopies and you had to go lose your weight for cancer? That's why you did the crypto scam.
And I just won't do those tests, man. It's not a big deal.
And yet again, he absolutely has nothing to say to any of these claims. Again, he does nothing but embarrass himself all day, every day, and shares absolutely everything with the internet. But for some reason, this is where he draws the line and provides absolutely no evidence other than, like, trust me, bro. He also says he'll just leave the internet. Like, the internet to Boogie is like heroin. He is just always looking for his next dose. He can't get enough of it. He did shut down his Twitter at the time of me writing this, but I'm sure he'll see some post about somebody calling him a moron or something. He'll try to combat it, but he'll only end up making himself look even worse than he already does.
Why are you walking away from the internet and wanting your last paycheck? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do next week?
Because there's no surviving this anyway. I don't know.
You gonna live in the Corolla Is that what you're going to do? You're going to live in the world instead of sharing your medical records?
I don't know. I've never known what would happen when you guys decided to pretend I faked cancer. I don't know.
Pretend?
I don't know.
Nobody's pretending. I thought you had cancer.
I mean, like
Boogie, Destiny came on.
Boogie, even if we're wrong, right? Nobody's pretended everything. Destiny put in a case, a real strong case. Yeah. So nobody's pretended or framed it, manipulated, spun it. Doesn't matter. You can't use that anymore. Go ahead, Keen.
Okay.
I got a question. Why were you not given a second opinion?
Because I trust my doctor pretty goddamn strongly. Also, the entire point of the bone marrow transplant is to get the second opinion.
So if I were to get cancer, I'd get a second opinion. Like it's cancer.
Like everybody would.
Everyone would. That's
There's a doctor in the world that would be offended by that.
Again, like they said, Boogie tries to spin this into everyone else as the villain, and they're making things up because poor Boogie, feel bad for Boogie, and they rightfully call him out. Destiny made a great case and came prepared to combat Boogie's stupidity. And now even his friends, if you want to call them that, are calling him out and really questioning his cancer diagnosis. But I cannot stress enough how easy of a win this could have been for Boogie, but now everyone is going to believe he has been faking cancer. He needs to either show his records in order to, win back some brownie points, because up to this point, he's just been very defensive and really looks to just be fishing for a way out of this one. Now, the rest of the podcast is basically the same. People questioning Boogie, and he continues to try to play victim and provides literally absolutely nothing to prove his innocence. So this is just another gross stain on the crusty t-shirt that is Boogie's life. I gotta say, I know Boogie stoops pretty low a lot of the time, with his victim card and his just sad mentality towards everything. But I never actually pinned him as someone who would be so desperate for money or for people to just feel bad for him the way it feels, that he would fake having cancer. And then not only that, use it again as leverage to scam his audience and thinking that that was just all totally okay. It's absolutely disgusting stuff from Boogie, but that's all I got for you guys today. If you did enjoy, remember to please leave a like, comment, and of course, subscribe to the channel. Links to all my socials will be down in the description. I want to say thank you to Sensitive Society. That's where I got these clips from, so I really appreciate it. You guys should go check out his channel. He does phenomenal content, a lot bigger than I am, but, got to give credit where credit is due, so thank you for that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your time, and until the next video, guys, Godspeed.